The Australian government is throwing a financial lifeline to Papua New Guinea as the country struggles with the economic impact of coronavirus. It comes amid concerns Papua New Guinea may otherwise turn to China for assistance. COVID-19 cases in PNG are continuing to grow, but the Prime Minister says the country won't be going back into lockdown. Dr Tess Newton-Cain is an adjunct associate professor at the Griffith Asia Institute, and she joins me now from Brisbane. Good afternoon and welcome to you.
Good afternoon, Kirsten.
Firstly, how much of an impact has COVID-19 had on PNG and its finances?
Well, as you said, we have seen a rise in the number of cases. They've now crossed the 500 mark. So across a population of nearly 10 million, that's not hugely significant in terms of health impacts. And whilst we are concerned about what that might mean in the future, so far the PNG hasn't had to deal with that. However, the overall global economic turn down and other restrictions such as cutting of flights and cutting of trade connections have had a really significant impact on the economic situation. And this has exacerbated weaknesses and problems that were already present in the PNG economy.
Can you give us an idea of exactly what you're referring to there?
Well, we'd already seen that PNG was struggling in terms of issues around foreign exchange, and there have been calls for devaluing the kina to make that easier. Businesses in Papua New Guinea have been complaining for quite some time that they're struggling with cash flow, largely because they're waiting for government to pay their bills. And we've also seen issues relating to problems in the resources sector, particularly with Barrick at the Porgera mines, which would normally, the revenues from those projects would normally be making significant contributions to the public purse. That's pretty much evaporated in the face of disputes over renewing of contracts, and that's obviously causing a certain lack of confidence elsewhere in that sector and appears to be putting off new investors getting involved. So the economy of Papua New Guinea has probably over-relied for a long time on the resources sector, and there have been a lot of problems in that sector, and there isn't really much else to make up the shortfall.
Now, earlier on, Australia's Minister for International Development, Alex Hawke, said that Australia's loan of $100 million is to help get PNG's finances under control. Do you think it, in addition to a loan from Japan, will be able to do that?
I think it will it's certainly going to be a help in the short term. I think we need to see how things pan out in the medium to long term. I've been chatting with some people during today, and they've indicated to me that some of the problems are so structurally significant that this is only going to be a band-aid solution. And essentially, in order for the economy to recover, or in order to get through this, PNG is going to have to take a really serious look at where cuts can be made to spending. And obviously, in terms of development and social welfare, what we don't want to see is cuts made to things like health and education. But it's hard to see where the political will for cuts will come from, particularly as PNG is approaching going into an election period. So there are going to be some really significant questions arising.
Is it going to be forced to ask for help from other countries?
Well, I mean, that's always a possibility. I think, the PNG government has asked for help and has received help from Australia and will receive help from Japan as well, we understand. There has been talk of further help from the IMF. Those negotiations seem to be stalling a little bit. PNG, along with other Pacific Island governments, has made a call for debt forgiveness from international financial institutions such as the World Bank and the IMF. So far, we haven't seen much appetite for that. I think that call will come again, but I don't know how likely it is that it will be answered in the affirmative.
Of course, we've been witnessing China assert itself in the region. Do you think Australia is particularly keen to be the neighbour that PNG turns to for help?
I think it's well known that Australia has a very long-standing and a very deep relationship with Papua New Guinea, including as the former colonial power. And there are some very strong ties between the two countries, including in investment and trade. And I think that Australia certainly does want to, and is expected to keep that relationship going and look for opportunities to build on that relationship. And certainly the PNG Treasurer, Ian Ling-Stuckey, referred to this as friendly financing. So it obviously, the conversation around this loan stems from a very positive tone to that relationship. And there's no doubt that Australia would, and Papua New Guinea would, want to see that continued.
Dr. Tess Newton-Cain, great to speak to you.
Thank you very much.